Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order of the Zoning Board of Appeals for Monday, April 14th. Present for the board, Mr. Jones, Mr. Andrews, Mr. Curran, Mr. Blas, Mr. Kimball, and myself, John Goldrosen. Before we open the first case, just to bring the board up to date, the zoning amendment for accessory dwelling units got finalized. We had it reviewed by the Attorney General's office first and made some changes based on their review. And it went to the planning board, which endorsed it and sent it on to the selectmen. So it'll be on the ballot, on the town meeting warrant, rather. I forgot to put it on the agenda for tonight, so I won't ask the board to take a vote or anything like that on it, but I'll send out a copy to all the members of the board when I get home.
So the town meeting warrant's not closed yet?
I don't know if it's closed or not, but if it was, they had a placeholder, so they were just waiting for it. Yeah.
What was the setback requirement?
What we put in there was that the setback requirements, if it's freestanding, a freestanding building, will be the same as apply for residential structure. Now, that is the one point of potential contention with the state.
They won't approve it.
Well,
how many?
But as of now, the state's position as of now is that the setback requirements that should apply are those that apply to an accessory structure. And I said, look, an accessory structure that's a garage or a shed doesn't have the impact on the neighbor of an apartment above the garage. I said, if the structure is attached to the house's setback requirements apply. So why shouldn't a freestanding garage be better?
Just a point of order. Yeah. I have a 1 acre lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to put an accessory dwelling unit detached on my lot. It's pretty much made it to 95%.
Wait, why? Because you don't have...
I don't have the setbacks for that.
On an acre?
A 1 acre lot, I don't have the setbacks to put a house, 900 square foot house, in my backyard. You can't meet the setbacks. So you're going to do 50 feet in the rear? So think about it.
Yeah, well...
So what's the separation from...
Well, I mean, if you attached it to your house...
I already have an in-law,
yeah.
but and I don't want to put another house, dwelling in it, but 95% of the lots in this town will be excluded.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean,
50 is too much.
Well, even
50 is too much for a real setback. 40 to say it. Yeah, 40.
Even 30.
Well, but my position was
25.
it's a residential structure, whether it's an accessory dwelling unit or the main house.
So if you build a 2-car garage with the unfinished upstairs that meets the setbacks for an accessory structure, are you saying they're not eligible in the future?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not the state's position as of now, but they're hearing it from a lot of towns with the same position as I have. So maybe that'll change. That's, the Attorney General is going to take that feedback back to housing and livable communities, but the way the state wrote its regulations, the setback requirements are those for an accessory structure.
Yeah,
So they modified our...
We made some changes to the bylaw based on their comments, but that one I wasn't going to budge on. Because I think like Bob had suggested, not allowing an accessory structure with an ADU to be closer to the front lot line than the house. They objected to that. I said, well, as long as it has to be setback, the front setback, so be it. So, there were some changes I was fine on, but I really felt allowing a residential structure 10 feet from the property line.
Especially the side.
Yeah, it's the side setback that's the issue, not the rear setback. It's the side setback that's the issue. So, particularly, I mean, if we're talking about an existing garage, it's likely the side setback is the issue.
In reality, if this passes at town meeting, The Attorney General's gonna reject it.
Well,
There's a
it
signature.
remains to be seen. Let's put it that way. Maybe we'll even have more clarification by May. But
And we can amend it at
One
town
of
meeting.
those
Yeah.
at the town clerk's office.
should be, yeah. Or at least an earlier version. I'm not sure if the latest version is.
Just curious.
Kyle, I'm happy to send you a copy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so let's get to our case for tonight. This is case number 7. Location of property, 278 Bedford Street. Type of district, highway business. Type of structure, existing 2-story dwelling. Owner's name, Open Door Home Solutions, LLC. Owner's address, 766 Adams Street, Abington. When did you acquire this property? February 2025. Has application been filed with town clerk? Yes. Has any previous appeal been made? Yes. Previous owner for a car wash. Sections of bylaw of which relief is requested, sections 240-5.4 F4 and section 240-7.2 site plan approval. Reason for asking relief. Applicant presently has automobile sales rental property across street from Locust. Owner of that property was approved for 2 new buildings, resulting in present car sales area having to relocate. Applicant has purchased subject lot to relocate existing car sales. This case was advertised in the Whitman Hanson Express on March 27th and April 3rd. Sitting on the case will be Mr. Jones, Mr. Andrews, Mr. Curran, Mr. Blas, and myself, John Goldrose, and Mr. Kimball can participate in the discussion. We'll have a reading of the abutters, list of abutters, and let's hear a motion to waive the reading.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Due to the apparent lack of interest on the part of the abutters, I move we waive the reading of the list of abutters.
Okay, Mr. Blas has made the motion, seconded by Mr. Andrews. All in favor? 5-0. Okay, would you both raise your hands? And do you solemnly swear the evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, I also need to mention that the meeting is being recorded pursuant to town bylaws, and the recording will be posted on the community access cable television website. Mr. Garvey.
Kyle Garvey, representing Open Door Home Solutions, which is owned by Diego Pimenta, who is out of the country at the present time. His wife Larissa is here and can answer some questions I'm sure if the board has them. The property is located on the westerly side of Bedford Street, south of Auburn Street. It's bordered on the south by 2 warehouse buildings that were built by Tracy White. On the west and on the north, it's bordered by Brockton Area Multi-Services building on both sides. And on Bedford Street on the east, the property contains 21,000 square feet and has a vacant residential house on it presently. This was the site that this board approved for a car wash a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. That never went forward for some reason, don't really know. The applicant himself owns Unique Auto Sales, who was leasing property from Kenny Sweezy. Kenny is going ahead right now, knocking down a building, and he's putting up the 2 buildings on that site that was approved by this board. And at that time, this property came up for sale because they're not going to do the car wash, and Diego was able to purchase it. He presently has a 40-car license across the street. He's planning on just having 19 to 20 vehicles. He doesn't want to be as big as he presently is. He also has a garage and car sales area in Abington that he does repairs to his vehicle. He has a license in the town of Abington. So this site will just be an office and car sales, no repairs, absolutely no repairs on site. There'll be no impact to town services as far as water and sewer go. The house was connected to sewer and obviously town water, so there will be no increase, as there was going to be obviously within the car wash. And runoff from the site, everything slopes back from the state highway to a catch basin, and basically we have an infiltration system to collect this runoff from the pavement, very similar to what we had at the car wash, where we did several test pits on this property to not increase any runoff. So a sign will be placed out front, small sign, maybe something on the building, but that'll be maybe at a later time. We do show some lighting at the center of the lot. And like I say, it's in an area where he was directly across the street. He had customers in this area, so he wanted to stay here.
Okay. All right, let me read some letters into the record. By the way, for the board's information, the building inspector was out sick today, so he's not here tonight, but he didn't have any issues with this. From the Board of Health, the Whitman Board of Health has no objections regarding the petition of Open Door Home Solutions, LLC, for site plan approval under Section 240-7.2 and a special permit under Section 240-5.4F4, as the applicant wishes to conduct a business for the sale of used motor vehicles on the property located at 278 Bedford Street. DPW billing records show that this property is currently connected to town water and sewer. Sincerely, Daniel Kelly, Health Agent. From the Whitman Planning Board, at the March 11, 2025 meeting, the board reviewed the plan for 278 Bedford Street. The Planning Board recommends approval of the requested variances by a vote 3 in favor, none opposed, 1 abstaining. Elaine Bergeron abstained, and Brandon Griffin was absent for the vote. Adam Somerville, chairman. And from Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services, at this time, Whitman Fire Rescue and Emergency Services has no objection to this proposal, provided all applicable fire and building codes are met. Sincerely, Nicholas Grasso, Deputy Fire Chief. All right, questions from members of the board? Mr. Jones?
I don't have any.
Okay. Mr. Andrews?
No question.
Okay. Mr. Curran?
Yes, thank you, Mr. The existing house is going to stay as it is?
You know, he's going to remodel the inside for offices versus.
So it'll just be offices, no residential?
Just offices.
And so you're going to do it over so it looks good?
Yeah. Try to make it pretty though.
And can we talk about the landscape? What's going to be there out front?
Yeah, I mean, I do show, we have just handicap space out in front. This will be all grassed area, basically around the building, walkway into the building. So, I mean, this area will be, maintained.
So it'll just be grass, or are you going to?
Yeah, in front of the cut. In that area there, you could put some low-lying shrubs in, but nothing obviously that's going to get high within the state highway.
Yeah, all get.
Your turning radiuses, you got to be somewhat careful.
How about outdoor lighting?
I have a light here that will be, shining in that direction, but typically they're not really open at night.
And everything's going to be paved that's not green. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Blas?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of my concerns, of course, was that building too. So it would be my plan to make a condition that there be no that the office or the former house not be used for any residential use, and make that as a condition of the approval. So there'll be increased pavement from what is there now. The stockade, the chain link fence will come down because that'll be past where you're paving.
Yeah, the chain link fence that runs across here.
So that'll come down.
Yeah.
The condition of the stockade fence, it's in pretty rough shape. What's your plan with that?
So
Which stockade fence you talking about?
It goes around the back, or back to the side.
This one
Yeah.
here?
as long
Yeah.
as
Yeah, that's actually multi-services fence.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in the back
Or
where,
if it isn't, it's on their property.
but it goes across the back too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the parking lot.
Yeah.
The back is just grass.
yeah.
It was just like a yard that fenced in dog or something like that, so it's,
When we originally surveyed this for the car wash, I mean, at one time I think there was an above ground pool back here, but it was always overgrown grass. Was never really mowed or anything like that. When I took this project on, I said you could expand that. Is this exactly what you want to do? Because I don't want to have to come back. And he says, no, I don't want to sell any more than 20 cars. I'll try to get some high-end cars in there because I have another place in Abington. So this is going to be, hopefully
it
he's going
drops,
to keep that.
drops like 3 feet going back to the fence there. The
Yeah,
elevation.
elevation 92, 93, 94, 95. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, other than the sign, I just didn't know if it was going to be a small enough sign that would fit within the sign, the 20 square feet, or if they'd need a relief on the size of the sign.
I know across this, well, I just know he had a sign on Sweezy's building, I think before, 20 square feet, yeah.
That's what they're happy with. What is the required frontage in highway business?
100?
Is it 100? So you need relief, 6 inches of relief?
No, this says 9.91 from the MHB, and then it goes into a curve that's 99.51.
Oh, okay.
So it's really got like 100.
So you do have, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've got no other questions.
100 feet, oh, for frontage, okay. Okay, I thought you were asking about setback, but not frontage. Okay. Mr. Kimball?
The only 2 comments I have is one is I'd like to see some type of landscaping up front, and could be low stuff or even a fence or something like that, like a post and rail fence or something. Just give a little bit of class. And the other thing is, if you weren't using the existing property, I would have requested it be back in line with the other properties, but where it's an existing building, I don't have any issue with it. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I agree with Mr. Blas in putting a condition of no residential use, just so there's no question about it. What's the space from the edge of the cars and the closest to Bedford Street and the property line? 10 feet?
Are you talking this
Yeah,
area?
yeah.
Yeah, well, on that's, well, from the property line to the parking lot is 10 feet. And then it's about another 8 feet from the property line to the edge of pavement. This side of this Bedford Street does not have a sidewalk,
Okay.
where this side does.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see, especially if we have all that space in back, I'm not saying push it way back, but you've got sufficient room to be able to move the cars back, it would seem to me.
People like to put them as close as they can.
I know they,
Look at the other car spaces in town, they're always on
Yeah.
the sidewalk.
well,
They
you know,
think they are, but they are.
yeah, and we're not thrilled about it.
But we're almost like 20 feet back, from that travel way.
Yeah. See what other people think. How big are the spaces for the
They
cars?
10 by 20s.
Oh, okay. Actually, I don't worry about that so much with car sales spaces.
Yeah, sometimes I try to keep them. It's not like going to Stop and Shop with it banging into each other.
Yeah. Hopefully, you're not banging your own cars into each other, because on that basis, there isn't like where you've got the rear line of cars, clearly you'd have to move a couple of the cars along the side to get all of those out. Again, if you wanted to take a little more advantage of the space and move it back, I'd be fine with that. What is, you've got S is the cars for sale. What is E?
Employee.
Oh, okay. And C's customer?
Yeah.
So you've got 2 customer spaces in front plus the handicap space.
Yeah, 2 employee, 2 customer, 1 handicap.
Okay. What do you normally have for employees on duty? Yeah.
So over there's probably gonna be 1. Yeah, maybe 2.
Okay. All right. Yeah, other than I'd sure like to see that front row of cars move back enough that you can, were you going to have, again, some dirt or mulch, or what were you going to have in the space between the cars and the street?
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be, a grass area, but if the board is, if you're going to put some plants in there, maybe some type of a low planting bed, which would be mulch.
Yeah. I just think, I don't think that would hide the cars, and I think would make just look a little more attractive, Let me ask about the fencing too, because, so what fencing are you proposing at this point on your property? There's a chain link fence existing?
Well, there is a chain link fence that runs down the back.
Yeah.
And then it ties into the stockade fence.
Stockade fence.
And then there's, the existing stockade at multi-services. But other than that, he hasn't asked me to show him additional fencing.
Were you planning to keep the chain link fencing on the left-hand side? Yeah, I guess my question is not so much visual or anything like that, but more just security.
Yeah.
I think it depends if the fencing is in good condition. I'm not really sure if it is. So.
I mean, I don't think that he's had any problems next door, but and it's there are some parking lots out back that connect the medical buildings that you can actually drive through from one medical building to another, come back through and sneak out here, but not too many people do, I don't believe.
Okay. Yeah, it's not something I certainly propose to require anything. I just bring up the issue of fencing for security. I guess then we should note at least that the chain link fence that's shown on the plan is on the left-hand side. Is an existing chain link fence, may or may not remain, or may be replaced. If we don't have an objection, then you said there's a chain link fence horizontally across the property that's going to be removed that went with the old house. Is that right? Or
yeah, there was a chain link fence and a gate that ran across.
Okay.
Right through there.
Okay, so and I don't see that on the plan, so you're going to be removing that for sure. So, all right. Just for the record, how big is the structure on the property? Do you know? Do you know how big the structure on the property is?
Square footage wise?
Yeah.
It's not very big.
Okay. Yeah. And it's 1 story?
No, 2 stories.
Yeah, some of it's 2-story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So besides no residential use, I would also want a condition, no subleasing of the space, other than coming back.
No, I spoke to T.I. We talked about having somebody live in there, and we both decided that he was not going to do that. So.
Yeah, but I mean also even for another commercial tenant, no subleasing to another commercial tenant without coming back to us.
John?
Yep.
No repairs on premises?
Right, no repairs on premises as you've maintained. Hours of operation, what are your hours typically?
Monday to Fridays, 8 till 6, and Saturday, 8 till 4 p.m.
Okay,
And Sunday close.
okay. Okay, if we make that a condition, then is it okay if we make that a condition, or do you want us to make it a little bit later? You know, maybe 8 to 8.
Oh my god. 8 to 8?
How about 8 to 8, Monday to Friday?
Not,
We're not saying you have to stay
Oh,
open.
okay.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm gonna,
Yeah, so yeah.
I guess thinking, you know, are there
Maybe
times?
you want to stay late a couple, yeah. I think
Yes.
that would be
So I'm gonna make it 8 to 8, Monday to Friday, and 8 to 6 on Saturday. It's a commercial area, so it's certainly not bothering anybody to do that. Okay. I don't have anything further. What do members of the board think about what should be between the front line of cars and the street? Do you,
I'm okay if they just have grass there.
okay.
But I did have a question.
Yep.
Right now, the plan shows what appears to be about a 20-foot buffer between all the cars on the southern end of the lot and the lot line. Do we want to make a condition that 20-foot be maintained?
Let's talk about the grass strip to,
Right
on the left,
No, on the other side.
The other side.
Southern side.
all the way up.
Southern, right there, that grass strip.
No, this here.
Here, over
No, where the cars park against.
here, Carl.
Between the new building.
Right here, you've got about a 20-foot buffer between the backs of the cars and the lot.
Oh, that's not 20 feet, that's like 10.
Well, is it
Yeah.
the width of, 10 feet, okay.
Yeah.
10 feet, okay.
Yeah.
Do we want, I'm just saying, do we want to make sure
Well-
that 10 feet buffer part of our condition? That be maintained?
It's commercial property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, since you're showing it as grass on your plan,
Well, yeah, actually, there's a little bit of a slope where this property next door was built up, and this basically kind of follows the chain link fence that it actually is onto the property by around 8 feet, I'd say, you know.
okay. But between the cars and the edge of your property line, were you proposing to have grass there?
Yeah, this is,
Okay.
This is, yeah.
So I'm
We have a light standard that would be going here, and then this would be grass for, for plowing and so forth.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put that in as a condition because that's not shown on that's shown on your illustrated plan, but it's not shown on here, I don't think, right?
Yeah, it's showing.
Is it,
All I've done is color this one over.
right,
But the edge of pavement shown.
oh, is
says
it,
Pavement edge.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, but in the event that the chain link fence is taken down,
Yeah,
want to maintain the buffer.
so just maintain the buffer that's shown between the edge of pavement and the lot line, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
On the southerly.
yes,
Southerly property.
okay. All right, anything else?
Do we, he's got a 19-car license. Do we want to limit on the site plan the number of cars that can be on site?
How many cars are you showing on this plan?
I'm showing 19, and it's usually dictated by this, well, you can do it, but the selectmen also.
Yeah.
You have to go for.
No, but I was just going to say, along with your employees and things like that, employees and customers and HP, I think you're looking at 25 cars total.
Yeah.
A lot. And what should we say?
Well, we
No, I don't want any cars going in the back, getting parked in the back,
okay.
that aren't
Yeah.
ready for prime time yet.
Cars are to be limited to the area shown on the site plan within the pavement shown on the site plan.
Yeah, he had 40, he goes, I don't want 40, like
Yeah.
I had across the street, he goes, said, I only want 15. I said, why don't we, nobody says that, so I put 19.
Well, I mean, you could use the back for rental, putting RVs and boats and planes and things like that. That's a lot of land.
Yeah. So we don't want
Work
that.
part-time, you can go.
How about if we say 20 cars in case you figure out a way to squeeze one more car in there? And I do see you have a dumpster shown there, and that's at a location so that you could back in a
Yeah.
dump truck to get at it. But other than that time, well, you could have had one more parking space in
Yeah,
front
I
of
mean,
the
that
dumpster.
dumpster's not gonna get too much use with one person in the office.
Yeah.
and They're not doing repairs.
Yeah. All right, so we'll say limit of 20 cars, which is actually one more than you're showing on the plan. Okay.
Sales, limited 20 sales cars, right?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 20 sales cars. All right, anything further? So just the,
Well, I just want to say something about no, I don't own junk cars, but I don't want to see,
No storage of inoperable vehicles.
okay, there you go.
That's the way.
No storage of inoperable vehicles. Well, good. Need like a building commissioner or something?
It used to be.
bring those to Abington. You know. All right, so I've got no subleasing of space to another commercial tenant, no residential use of the structure, hours of operation up to Monday to Friday 8 to 8, Saturday 8 to 6, closed Sundays, maintain the buffer between the edge of pavement and the southerly lot line as shown on the site plan, up to 20 cars, vehicles for sale, and no repairs on the premises, and no storage of inoperable vehicles. All right? Okay. Anything further? Otherwise, I'll close the hearing. Yeah, I just wanted to check.
Did you say that the paving should be paved, the site should be paved? I mean, I'm showing that.
Yeah, assuming you're going to pave as shown on the
Yeah.
site plan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I just want to double check the use.
It's special permit, so.
Yeah, and I just to set it for the board. Okay. So F4 and what is this highway business?
Highway business.
So special permit, that's for sales of used motor vehicles from within an enclosed structure or on an outdoor lot, and as a distinct business unrelated to and separate from any gasoline service station, repair garage, or body shop, with lighting and other display features meeting the stances of 247-4A. So that's as distinct from having a sale with repairs. Okay, anything further? Otherwise, we'll close the public hearing, and what's being requested is a special permit and site plan approval. You have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion that we approve the special permit with the listed conditions.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Curran. For a second. Second by Mr. Andrews. Any further discussion? Mr. Blas, did you need to? No?
Good with it.
Okay. All in favor? 5-0. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck with it.
Did you have a house on your board?
We rent a house in the neighborhood. Yeah, so we did 5 weeks this year and next week, next week, so
You can actually rent a house for just like 5 weeks.
5 rent from with a refund. And you pay $480 for one night in a hotel.
Okay. All we have. See you, Kyle. Thank you. Good night. We've got a couple of minutes to do. This is the minutes for case number 6 for the Mr. Egan's project, 447 Harvard Street. So that was myself, Wayne, Mr. Blas, Dick Blas, Bob Keenan, and Bob Kimball. We're here for that one. So we
Make a motion to approve the minute.
motion to approve by Mr. Andrews, So, second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Kimball. Anybody need any more time? That's it. Okay, all in favor? 4-0. And then the general minutes for March 31st.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve by Mr. Kimball.
On the vote, it says Bill Rosenblas, Andrews Blas, Kimball, and Jones. So I was on here once.
Yes. Sorry, that's the last case there.
What is,
The very
General minutes.
last case in the general minutes.
oh, I got lost twice.
Yeah.
That's all right. We put you twice.
You worked that hard.
Paid twice as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. May I have a motion on the general minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Blas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Campbell. All in favor? 5-0 on that one. Okay. I think that concludes the business. So we have a quick night.
What's coming up?
May 12th. May 12th, we have 2 cases.
Right. They're
Yeah.
going in next week.
Okay.
Huh?
Don't we have something at the end of this month, the 24th?
No.
No.
Standish Avenue in Bedford Street.
Yeah, we have 2 cases on May 12th, and I'm expecting, a couple more are in the works. But that's it for now. The marijuana place at Jamie's is going ahead.
It is.
So they'll have to come back to us. They're in the process of discussing things with the selectmen, but they understand they gotta go through the same procedure as we did for the previous.
Did that change hands, the real estate?
Rosen doesn't own it.
Right. But I
So
thought,
that's Patel, right?
The town, it was, yeah.
It still is?
As far as I know, it's the same
So they're
people,
gonna
the
tear it
same
down?
people who are proposing. Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, if they're proposing to do anything other than exactly what they said they were gonna do before, then we're gonna have a much more open hearing. But my understanding is,
They just renew.
as with the previous one, because the host community agreement has to be changed, we'll make them come back to us and we'll add some more police-related conditions that can no longer go into the host community agreement.
but
But that'll be it.
the actual site plan itself was part of that grandfathered or extended.
Right, yeah, they're still valid, they're still valid, so they can go ahead with it. Yeah.
And then, no plans yet on Washington Street, the downtown with the new owners?
I haven't heard anything further on that. You're walking out at the last meeting, we were chatting with
393.
Steve Egan about Washington Street, and he said that where the building got torn down, it's just been sitting there in spite of the approval that we had given, that Steve doesn't have that property, but somebody else does, and Steve's son, the architect, is working on it. So
But it was-
hopefully that is,
It got-
yeah, it changed hands. And I think he said that they're likely to come back to us for some kind of small modification, but
So that's gonna move forward.
that's going to move forward. Yeah. So, yes,
Yeah, are you still recording?
yes. Okay. Anything further for the meeting? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Curran. All in favor? The meeting is adjourned.